GG. That's the issue right here. Toss basically has a death ball that just needs to A move. Alright. No. So basically that composition in particular was one of the best examples of an army composition that doesn't really A move that much. They were focus firing lurkers. Let's break it down. Because that's, I would say, part of a really bad attitude that a lot of people have, where they'll be losing to a big army and they'll use an A move excuse. I've made a video on this from the Zerg perspective of someone who was accusing me of just simply A moving into them. But we'll look at why the Protoss won this game. They did probably register an attack move command at some point in the game, but they had so many different types of units in their composition. They had observers, probably. They had oracles that were revealing my lurkers. They were storming me pretty much for the second half of the game, which is a caster unit. High Templar, believe it or not, cannot attack move. They have no basic attack function. They can feedback, they can storm, they can morph into Archons. So let's take a look at what went wrong, because it's already kind of hard enough to play the game and learn and focus on what you can do better. And every time you make those sort of stopping points where you say, is this matchup balanced? Did I lose because of imbalance or because I got outplayed? It's better to just take it as I probably got outplayed. Probably. There may be some isolated situations where the slight imbalance of StarCraft 2 was just enough to tip the game in favor of your opponent. But what if you just didn't fuck up quite so badly? What if you had better decision making and you made a better composition that dealt with the opponent's composition better? I got outplayed, straight up. In this particular game, I lost because I was outplayed, because my opponent created a really diverse and effective army composition and killed a bunch of my stuff. Here's the first big mistake. Whenever people go over replays, they pretty much always just assume, oh, it was because the final army composition, like they made stuff that was too good, I couldn't beat that. This shit right here, this is what you should be looking at. The interactions in the early to mid game where one player takes too much damage and falls behind. I knew that there were some adepts in the game. With my Ling Drop dealt a decent amount of work. I got a scout of the Stargate, which I kind of already knew from the Oracle, but I could see the gases being taken, and what I needed to do was make some Overlords, because I saw a Phoenix, Overlords to preempt losing a couple Overlords to the Phoenix, and then make a big round of Lings. This is only 5 Adept, it's not a huge attack, but it's going to deal a lot more damage than it should, because I'm supply blocked and I can't make Lings. This is not an issue of imbalance with the game, this is an issue of me not using the information that I had with my scout effectively. So look, it's 39 workers to 53. This is huge. I can recoup some of these losses, because the Protoss third was kind of late, but they're going to be able to transfer workers. And then let's look at the income tab. They have a really big income lead. So maybe it looked like I was trying hard and doing some good stuff and being active on the map and killing a lot of the opponent's workers, but all of that is from the position of being behind. I'm behind. I'm trying to catch up. I'm taking my 4th base. I'm droning. I'm trying to take my tech and whatnot. But all of this would have looked a lot stronger if I didn't take that huge amount of damage to just 5 Adepts. So, analyzing the games is about looking for your first key blunder. The first time you made a pretty big mistake that caused you to be behind for the rest of the game. You can theory craft all day talking about, is Tempest, Storm, whatever Sky Toss too strong in the matchup? Virtually every single game that is played on the StarCraft ladder involves imperfect players. Assuming it's not in control. Assuming it's not innovation versus dark. People make mistakes. So if people make mistakes, it seems logical that if you figured out what your mistakes were and you made those mistakes less often, then you would naturally move up the ladder and beat these types of players more frequently. So here I've basically recovered. Like, I'm in a decent position, but the opponent has been mining off gases at their 4th for quite a long time. So they get a very gas-rich composition. Here's another thing to break down to be logical about how the game works. In the active forces tab, not just the supply, but look at the mineral to gas ratio of the armies that are involved. Usually the army that is more gas rich is the better composition, usually. What does Protoss have here? They have 4 High Templar, they have 5 sentries here, units tab, they have 1 Archon, they have 1 Phoenix, 1 Mothership Core, an Observer. This is a very diverse set of stuff. They're not just trying to find whatever the most OP unit is and then shoving a whole bunch of those at the opponent. They're trying to be well-rounded and defend their 4th base. So take it from the opponent's point of view sometimes. Like, they're trying to do the best they can with the tools they have in the game. And it's the responsibility of people who play a strategy game to use the stuff that's the most effective. It's not like you should be playing the game in a way that if you were to beat a Villa, he would not be upset. Because some people, they're going to be upset no matter how they lose. So you've just got to use the pieces you have effectively. I off-race this Protoss. It's not easy to play Protoss. I'm like Diamond 2. I don't have builds and stuff, but still. Like, dealing with Bane drops and Muta switches and all kinds of bullshit, it's not easy. So take it as a personal challenge. That when you lose a game, rather than say, oh, the endgame Tempest count was too damn high, Zerg can't do anything about that. Find your first major blunder in the match and take some goddamn responsibility. This was not David Kim's fault. This was my fault. This particular loss was my fault. I have 72 workers to 45. What is my issue here? My issue here is I'm expecting this army composition to just outright win me the game, because I've killed a bunch of probes. The problem is the Protoss has a very good army composition here. They have, what, 3 Tempests, 2 Archons, 5 Immortals, 16 Zealots, an Oracle to give vision for Lurkers, an Observer so they even have some redundancy on top of that, and they have more supply than me. They have 128 supply in Army, 47 in Workers. So what I need to do is keep teching up. I'm not advancing any particular tech right now. I have a Hive, but I didn't take Adrenal Glands, and I'm not running an Evo Chamber upgrade, and I'm not taking a Spire, where I could take Spire upgrades to make better Corruptors and Broodlords and shit, and I'm not expanding behind this attack. I do have a new base that I'm establishing, but why not take this base too? Actually, that's a really good idea. This base is already defended by my army at this point, so I could just hold this high ground. So I totally misplayed this game. This had nothing to do with fucking Tempests, and if Tempests are OP, I fucked up. I fucked up like 20 different ways in this game. I mean, sure, I'm a GM player, but GM players fuck up probably like 20 to 30 times in silly ways every game. Tell your fucking friends, dude. Oh no, you didn't lose EVP because Skytoss is OP. You fucked up. Why am I doing this? Why am I trading at low ground here? I should take my advantage of having superior economy and getting maxed with even better units than I have now. Like, sure, Hydra Lurker is great, but Hydra Lurker Queen is pretty exploitable to Tempest, and the opponent is doing the smart thing of massing Tempest. It's not that they're trying to be, I'm gonna try to be as abusive as possible. It counters what I'm going for. So this Protoss player is using their brain and being smart, and I'm failing to take the advantage I have, which is more economy, which means I can expand more, and I can diversify my unit composition with the extra money that I have. So, for fuck's sake, fam. How long has this game been out, and we're still playing that game? The excuse-making game? Oh, it's not my fault. Oh, this matchup. No, it's your fault. Just own it and move the fuck on. Hey Nico, thanks for the sub. I don't know if you caught me at a bad time or a good time. I think that's a good time. Thanks, Nico. I don't see Tempest as the problem. Templars are. My own flawed decision-making is the problem. That's the point. That's the take-home message. World of Excuse Craft. Excuse Craft 2. Legacy of this matchup isn't fair. That's why I lost. back the fuck up. Sit the fuck down. Go over the replay. Actually, get a friend. Get a neutral third party who doesn't play your race. In fact, get someone of the opposite race. So if that was a ZVP, if I was feeling like all butthurt about, oh, the matchup's imbalanced, I should get a Protoss player or something. If I didn't know why I lost. And be like, hey, could you help me out with this game? Because they're going to have a very impartial perspective because they die to Zerg all the time. Like, even if it's a really good Protoss, what, their win rate probably isn't over 60%. Maybe it is. But even then, they're going to be extra helpful about the bullshit that Zerg can do. Get fucking real, people. ZVP is hard, not impossible, but hard? Every matchup is hard. That's not news. It's always been like that.